absence, my controller broke, then my headset stopped working, and then I got it to work again. I'm gonna get a new one soon. I'm not dealing with this. And Halloween's coming up, so I'm not gonna be able to record then. So, yeah. I'm being Dream for Halloween. It's stupid, but it's fun. I just ordered. It's been a while since I've done a what if. And guys, I have to say this is my final what if I was in what if. Because I've been getting a little bit of hate the last couple of weeks for doing only me, and I understand that completely. I've overdone it. I've gotten a lot of hate for doing only me. So you're either gonna see what ifs about anime characters, or you're going to see no what ifs from me anymore, and just Fortnite videos and just gameplay. So yeah. Let's get started. We start off with a boy in Galar, who's riding around on his bike, his Rotom bike. He's stuff, and rides around. Then he sees a nurse running out of coughing. He says, "Miss, are you okay?" She says, "No." There's a toxin and they're poisoning everyone. It's just sitting there, but somehow everyone's getting poisoned. When everyone thinks it's cute, they touch it, and then it poisons them. It's got a disease, but we can already remove it. We just need the Pokemon to be still, but it won't stay still because it's scared of our needle. He goes, let me check it out. He walks in to the hospital and looks at the Toxel, who's crying as it's being held down, as all the doctors are sitting on chairs because of how they've been poisoned. He puts on gloves and touches and starts petting the Toxel's head. He goes, "Little guy, huh?" And then he starts petting under its chin, which actually makes it happy. And then they quickly shove the needle in, make it go to sleep. As then they start the operation to remove the disease from inside of the Toxel. Once the surgery is finished, the nurse asks if he would like to accomplish with the Toxel. He says no and walks out, but the Toxel follows behind, nudging his foot. He goes, "I'm not going. I'm not getting a Pokemon and I don't want one." He leaves the hospital as the Toxel's still following him without him noticing. Then, out of nowhere, he's attacked by a Geodude in the caves because he's looking around for stuff. The Geodude attacks with a punch, and he just grabs it and is about to punch it with his bare hand, but a man comes from behind and grabs him, saying, "That's Pokemon abuse. You can't do that around here." As then he says, "If I catch you doing that again, you're arrested. Use a Pokemon like a normal person." He goes, "I'm 10. You're really gonna arrest me?" And then he releases the grip and grabs his hand, saying, "You don't know who you're dealing with. If you're going to mess with me, I'm going to destroy you." He goes, "Yeah, right, kid." This is Charizard saying, "You want to say that again?" Then he goes, "Bring it, I'll beat that Charizard to death." And then he pulls out his saying, "Charizard, flamethrower!" He launches it as Christian is just burned. But then the Toxel nuzzles the Charizard, making it fall a tiny bit. He goes, it roars and scratches it with a Dragon Claw, but Christian jumps away, grabbing the Toxel and actually kicking away the Charizard's hand. He knows how to counter Pokemon moves, that's why he's them. He goes, then the Toxel starts to like him even more. He goes, "Fine, I'll take care of it." The guy says, "Well, we're not done yet." Then Officer Jenny says, "You're under arrest for attacking a child." Then he goes, "He was about to punch a Geodude." Then she says, "Is this true, young man?" He goes, "Self-defense." She goes, "Well, I don't believe your lie, sir, so bye." As she just leaves with the man under arrest. Then he walks up to the Geodude and apologizes, but the Geodude just walks away. Or actually, floats away. He goes, ah, great. Let's go, Toxel. Then he wakes up, realizing that that was all a dream. And then his mother comes in and says, "There's an egg waiting for you." He opens it and he opens up the packaging and puts it in his room in the incubator. He goes, "I wonder what this could be. And what was I doing in my dream? Why was I like that? Why did I hit that Geodude? That was wrong. That man didn't go to jail for no reason. Also, how do I remember this much of that dream? I shouldn't even remember a tiny bit. Dreams should only be remembered by 1%. No, it was 25%. So I guess that 25% was all of it. I got lucky." Then the egg starts to have a dangerous electric aura. He goes, "I feel that. It feels weird." Then he yells out for his mom, asking if she can feel it. She says, "No, I think that she..." And then she says, "You didn't get enough sleep. Go back to sleep." He goes, "Yeah, maybe." He goes back to sleep and he feels that electric energy again. He gets up and sees the egg has vanished. But then you realize, then he looks at the floor and sees the egg is cracked open with nothing in it. He goes, "Is that a prop?" Then he sees a little purple figure zooming around the room. He grabs it and says, "A Toxel. Is it the one from my dream?" And then it spits poison into his face and then runs out of the room. Then he goes, "Ah, Mom, the Toxel's loose." It goes, she sprints all around the house trying to look. It finds it. But then they find that the dog is sitting there, playing with the Toxel, not really doing anything. Then his mom starts to laugh, saying, "It was just scared of you. And you're snoring probably, kid." Then he picks it up, going, and then he puts it in a Pokeball, and then walks and says, "I think it's time to start my journey, Mom." He puts on his hat and jacket, and then walks away into the distance. Then he walks to his rival, Zach. We're gonna call him Zach. Zach says, "You're really not gonna go get your starter?" "Well, I've already grabbed mine. And actually, my dad let me grab all 3 of them." Christian smiles and says, "I honestly don't care." Then walks away. He says, "Might as well take on the gym challenge." He says, "Hey, wait! I want to have a battle. You're probably gonna lose, as I have 3 Pokemon and you only have 1. Christian throws out his Pokeball, saying, "Go, Toxel!" He goes, "That's not even a starting Pokemon." As Toxel's only a level 1, of course. And the starter's a level 5. Instantly, it's charged at by the Grookey. Grookey starts battering it with his branding hook. Toxel is slowly gaining stronger by being hit. It has an unknown ability called Justified, where if it gets hit, the more it gets hit, the stronger it gets. As it's dealing damage, Toxel is almost done. It releases a humongous Sledge Bomb. As then it hits the Grookey, knocking it out. As then Zach says, "Are you kidding me? Go, son!" Throws it out, and it's almost starts shooting water guns. It's hitting Toxel, almost defeating it. But with the Justified, he creates another Sledge Bomb, and it knocks it out. Then he goes, "You're doing good, Toxel." Then he says, "My ace!" Then throws out his I'm kidding. Scorbunny. Scorbunny starts to shoot embers, which finally wears down and puts knees, as then Jack says, "Use double kick!" As then it double kicks and knocks knocks Toxel out. He picks it up and says, "That's right," as he picks him up by his hair and says, "Don't you ever mess with me again, loser." Then he goes, "You messed with me, you idiot." Then he says, "What did you say?" Then he's about to punch him. And his father says, "Zack, I can't believe you. I thought you'd be having a peaceful battle. Get back home, I'm taking 2 of your Pokemon." He goes, "Fine, Dad, take Grookey and Sobble away." He goes, "Oh, I will be." As then they go home. He goes, "Weird encounter." He starts to take on the gym challenge, getting 5 of them. When he realizes Toxel still has to evolve way earlier. He goes, Then he decides to take a flight to the city. He takes Corviknight sky thing. He flies all the way over and says, "Ooh, it's a battle time." He runs through with his Toxel and bumps into a boy with a hat and his Pikachu. He goes, "Damn it! What the heck?" Then he looks and realizes, wait a minute, isn't that the champion of Alola, Ash Ketchum? Whatever. He gets right back up and pulls Ash up, saying, "Hey, are you okay?" Ash says, "Yeah, I'm fine." Well, and then he says, "What's your name?" "My name's Christian, and that's my partner, Toxel." "Well, it's in a Pokeball, but I can't pull it out." Then Ash says, "I'm Ash Ketchum, and this is my partner, Pikachu." Pika does his Pika, 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 Pika. And then Christian says, "I hope we can have a battle one day." Ash says, "Yeah, totally." He says, I'm gonna go watch the match now." Then Ash says, "Do you want to come with me and my friend Go?" He goes, "Sure, I'm down." They rush towards the stadium to watch Leon versus Raihan. Actually, no, it was Leon versus Lance. This battle is intense and amazing, as he is so amazed to see the Galar champion in action. Then he asks, "So, are you doing the gym?" He asks Ash, and Ash says, "No, are you doing the World Championship? The World Coronation Series?" He goes, "No, I don't recall what that is." He goes, "And I've never heard of the gym challenge. What is it?" He goes, "It's basically all the gyms from other regions. It's basically just gyms." He goes, "And the World Coronation Series is basically like the Pokemon League, but you fight people from all over the nation." He goes, "Maybe I'll register." Then Ash says, "I don't think I'm too ready for the gym challenge, though." Christian goes, "Well, you want to have a battle?" He goes, "Sure." They go to the back of some plane, as then they start the battle. They start off with their 2 Pokemon. They have 2 Pokemon each. Ash says, "Go! Dragonite!" As then he throws and goes, "Impressive. Actually, how do you Dragonite this early? Might as well use this one. Let's go!" Corviknight! As then he throws out Corviknight. Corviknight screams with full velocity. Then he says, "Now!" Together. Corviknight at faster speeds cuts Dragonite in the wing, which is slowly cutting him up. He says, "Brave bird!" As then he flies down. Dragonite uses a Dragon Tail to smack him into a wall. As then he goes, "You're good, Ash. Good. But not good enough." Then he creates an air slash. Then Corviknight creates an air slash and launches it towards Dragonite. Dragonite tries to block it with a hurricane, but the air slashes are big enough to actually cut through the hurricane and explode on Dragonite on impact. Dragonite is then sent into the air and launches a giant dragon pulse. Then Christian looks with amazement, saying, "Pretty weak, Ash." Then he goes, "Corviknight, use Hyper Beam!" As a quick bing clashes with the Dragon Pulse, with Hyper Beam overpowering it. But Dragonite, using more force, creates a stronger Dragon Beam. Dragon Attack, eating the Hyper Beam and colliding with Corviknight and defeating it. Christian goes, "Wow, impressive." He returns and says, "Let's go! Toxel!" Then Toxel comes out, as then Ash thinks it'll be a piece of cake because of how the Pokemon looks like a tiny Pokemon. He says, "Dragonite, Dragon Pulse!" It launches one and it hits Toxel, but Toxel's barely unaffected. Then Toxel points its finger in a gun and blasts off a poisonous needle, which isn't even seen. It hits Dragonite, as Dragonite faints instantly because of the poisoning. Ash says, "Wow, you took down Dragonite that fast?" He goes, "Power of Toxel, I've trained it well." Ash says, "You really have." Then Ash sends out Pikachu, and then they really start. I'm kidding. Ash sends out Riolu. Christian says, "I think their battle was after this." So yeah, Ash has Riolu. They start off with the clean, starting with the punch. Riolu is currently on the defensive because it's dodging all the poisonous needles. Riolu creates a hits clean in the face, knocking it back. It lands on its feet and with blinding speed somehow disappears and hits Riolu with a full powered up punch, knocking him clean into a wall. Riolu gets back up with it and activates its aura, kind of, then creates a vacuum wave and launches it at full velocity. Then he goes, "Thunderbolt!" As then Toxel creates a humongous thunderbolt and launches it at maximum speed. As it collides, as these two attacks are full power. As then, with both of the Pokemon fainting, with Ash losing points and so, with them both gaining and losing their points, so they get half the amount that they usually would. Ash Christian's instantly bumped up to a Poké-tier class, to Great class. He wants to be on the same level of Ash in the thing, but he has his own things to focus about. So he heads off and completes half the gym challenge with his Toxel still not evolving. So now we get to the Galar part where Rose goes crazy. They start to investigate Dynamax and figure out that Rose is actually pretty evil. Christian goes down with Rose and Ash. He goes out and him and Ash team up against Rose, which Christian can't really do much to. As his Corviknight and his Toxel can't do much to Steel types, because one of them are Steel types. They jump in the air and attack. As a Thunderbolt is launched, but the big elephant has rejected it. I know what his name is. Alright. And then they full on go at each other, but they're getting destroyed by Capybara, or whatever. Oh, wait, that's an animal! I don't know the name. And the other one I don't know the name of. I forgot. Ferrothorn. They go after each other with full force, as Ferrothorn and the elephant go after and crush Rio, and is about to crush Rio. Christian says, "Ash, I'm out. I can't do this anymore." He flies away with Corviknight, but then is stopped by a boy with white hair. He goes, "Who are you?" Then he's back with Rose. Then the boy says, "My name's B." Then Rose laughs, saying, "B is my greatest protege. I'm sorry, but you. That's an evil villain laugh. We'll lose this battle." Person says, You hope that Riolu holds on to those two in the air. Riolu starts to evolve into Lucario. It evolves into Lucario. Christian goes, "Whoa!" Then he says, "Let's go Toxel full power!" As then he punches the air. But then he realizes he's at a giant advantage. He sends out Hatterene, as then they two go at it. And then it's just like, "Oh, so let him go." And then these two are clashing at maximum speed. But then Hatterene gets the advantage with a Psychic and starts slamming him all over. But then Toxel starts to get used to the pattern of the Psychic, so it starts using its feet to jump around to create speed, making it glow in a yellow light. As then it goes, "Duh." As then it evolves into Toxtricity, yelling at maximum velocity. I keep on saying velocity. Maximum volume. As then it screams with its power. Then it starts pulsing. And then starts being covered with electricity. Instantly, Hatterene rushes in, thinking it's easy to take down. Then with a pulse and overdrive, a humongous overdrive is launched, knocking it out instantly. He goes, and then he's ready. Then Lucario takes out Ferrothorn and I just remembered. Then they go find each other, as Christian says, "Nice guys, all of our Pokemon evolved. Toxel evolved into Toxtricity, Riolu evolved into Lucario, Raboot evolved into Cinderace. Awesome." Then he says, "Let's take down this giant hand." Ash goes, "It's a Eternatus." He goes, "I know, but I'm gonna call it a giant hand because it is a giant hand. Do you not see? Are you blind?" Then Ash says, "What did you say?" Then he says, then Christian says, "You heard what I said, nitwit." And then Ash says, "What did you call me, RoboCat?" And then he goes, as then Go says, "It's no time for fighting. There's a giant hand in our face." And then Christian smiles, going, Ash goes, "Whatever." Christian says, "Alright, all I need to do is get Toxtricity up there." Ash says, "Aura Sphere!" Go says, "Pyro Ball!" Christian says, "Now, jump on those, take those attacks for an overdrive." Toxtricity jumps on the attacks and kicks them forward while launching a humongous My controller died, so we're gonna get back into this. He yells, "Let's go, Toxtricity!" As then, bam, Toxtricity explodes with a yellow and blue light. Well, it turns into a base form of its Gigantamax form. Its eyes are glowing yellow with its staff in its hand. Basically, it's Gigantamax Toxtricity at normal size. He goes, "Ah!" As then a humongous shockwave comes and knocks everything back except for the two wolves, aka Zacian and Zamazenta. As then it roars out with so much energy and slams its staff into the ground, creating a humongous crater, which also leaves the Eternatus almost defenseless. So then everyone gets in and attacks. Ash says, "Go! Thunderbolt, an Aura Sphere. Then Ghost says, Cinderace! Use! Use Pyro Ball! And then he goes, and then Christian says, Overdrive! Overdrive is extremely powerful as it explodes onto Eternatus, as then he's defeated. And that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next part.